hopefully I get this screen in here. Let me take this off. We don't need to know who I am, but I'm going to just move myself here to the side, and I'll be moving myself as needed. Anyway, the 2027 ACA new compliances for standard agents. It's an important topic, and I want to make sure you all understand this. So let's get into it. All right, so there's a lot of things going on. These are the different topics we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about why CMS is tightening the rule, what bad agents have done to cause this. We'll talk a little bit about the legitimate agent and how they must document better. The new rules that are going to get strict on consents, reviews, SCP proof, income proof, marketing compliance. Now, some of these things are in effect today, but most of these things are really going to get strict as of time goes on. And of course, we'll talk about the LTDT Insurance, which is my company, and their standards going forward. We're not just selling ACA anymore. We're protecting the client's application. That is the theme that we're going to be talking about. So, as you can see, the final rule dates, I'm going to give you some date timelines of what's going on. So the official name of the document is the HHS Notice of Benefit Payment and Payments Parameters for 2027. This got released, like I said, last week on May 15th, 2026. It will officially be effective basically in most of its entirety come July 20th. So this is coming up real soon. That's about the time you'll be certified, or their certifications will come out for ACA somewhere right after that. And of course, open enrollment begins on November 1st, 2026, and these rules will be very strict and be monitored strictly. So just be aware of it. Throughout 2027, the SCP is going to be a lot more stringent, a lot harder to get. The income verification is definitely going to be enforced even more. So you get a lot more people being asked for income verification, more than they have right now. And on top of that, if it goes as it is, right now we're doing this, but consent forms and review forms are going to be required. These are going to be actual documents similar to what we use in the Medicare market that effective January 2026 or 2028, which probably will happen somewhere in November. They're going to require us to have some type of scope appointment that's yet to be determined exactly, but it's going to be a form that has to be filled out prior to your meeting. So that's things that are coming down. This is a timeline again. The last one is the only thing that doesn't go into effect till 2028. So I do want to touch on this base because a lot of these things are happening right now, and this is a slide that I had to add in because this happened to me recently when calling the marketplace, especially if you're not the agent of record and you're helping someone on an SEP and everything. You need to be aware of these things. Obviously, if they have no agent or they have another agent, you need to, after you finish your application, you're going to get that little red box on the top says, hey, call the marketplace with the client online. Make sure your client is online when you call them up. There's an 855 number, which is a toll-free number that you need to call the marketplace. Make sure you have your NPN. As a matter of fact, you'll be, right after the call, you'll be putting in your NPN, and they'll probably ask for it in the live call. Make sure you have all the client's information. Now, this is new. This is where I want you to understand. They're going to ask, which right now they're doing, they're going to ask you to authorize you, and you can be authorized for 365 days. So make sure you prep the client and tell them, hey, we're going to call the marketplace. We're going to be doing all these things. And it's going to be critical that they understand the process. All right. Now, here's what's new, and this just happened to me. Make sure you have the Social Security number for each person on the application. They will not push the application if you don't have this information. Additionally, If they have some kind of immigration information, make sure you have a copy of all that information. Put it into your CRM, do whatever you have. So they don't want the Social Security, even though you have the client online, they don't want to hear from the client. They want to hear from you, the agent. So the Social Security number and all the information on immigration, you need to provide that to the marketplace representative. Otherwise, they will not push that application. All right, so let's go back to the normal. So ACA is changing, okay? And basically what that means that we must prove that the client gave us permission. That's a crucial thing. We're doing that right now, but it's getting a lot more stringent. We must prove that the client reviewed the application before we process it, and we must prove that the income is realistic. Don't be surprised if you see them asking for proof of income. And if they can't subsidize, they can't get it, we don't go any forward. But we'll get into that more in specific in a couple slides. We must prove the SEP is valid when enrolling outside open enrollment. So don't just think that you can make up an SEP anymore. No, they're really looking for proof on that, so be aware of that. And again, we must explain the plans clearly. This is something that I am assuming most agents did, but for whatever reason, obviously we've had bad players, bad actors that have not been explaining the plan clearly, and it does provide a lot of complaints. We must document everything. We use Agent CRM, whatever CRM platform you're using, that's fine, but make sure you document everything into a CRM. Okay, so here's the problem. Okay, the old way. Before, we used to work like this. We used to take a quick call, quote a quick plan, maybe give them a couple of quick options, and submit it fast. I mean, applications, at one point we were doing like in 15 to half hour the most. Applications were done real quick, and we would estimate that, we wouldn't really push on explaining a lot about the income. Well, a big mistake, because income will make a difference. And then if they ask for any documentations, we worry about that. Hey, they'll send the information, we'll get it after. We put weak notes into our CRM, which was a big mistake also. And eventually we would hope there would be no problems. Well, folks, here's the news. That's not safe anymore. This is the old way of doing things. Get used to the new way. Because the new way is a little different. This list is going to be bigger. Okay, first of all, you got to confirm permission. Make sure you have something documented that you've asked permission to get into their applications. Make sure you confirm the identity. They're going to be checked, making sure that we're doing that. We're going to confirm the household. Hey, are you married, or all that sort of stuff. Their income, their tax filing status, very important. If there's an SEP, you got to make sure it's a valid SEP. You can't just fly things over and do a little change here without making some proof. Confirm the doctors and drugs, very important. Review the plans, make sure you explain every detail of the plans and the application, okay? Make sure you send them a copy of the application or have them verify it and note it. Make sure you note that they've confirmed that they've seen the application. I know what I end up doing is I take a PDF when it comes to that part where it has all the information. I put everything in there. I PDF it. I send it quickly through my agent CRM, and I ask them to agree to that everything is right. Confirm that all the information is correct. Save the proof in my agent CRM. Well, that does save it. And make sure you add clean CRM notes. And if you have to follow up on marketplace letters, make sure you ask the clients to get in touch with you. You're the agent of record. You're the one that's getting paid. I tell them, hey, send me a document here, send to me, and I uploaded it. We use Health Sherpa. We send it up that way. Make sure you send it to the marketplace via the Health Sherpa, and everything is okie dokie. So it's a lot more involved, but this is the way it is. Okay. Very simple thing to start thinking. No proof, no submit. Okay, so if you can't prove it, don't submit it. No client permission, do not submit. No income explanation, don't submit. No SCP proof, be careful. No client review, don't submit. No CRM notes, don't submit. Or it didn't happen, basically. If it's not in the CRM, it didn't happen. No document follow-ups, the client can lose coverage. They can lose that subsidy, and they ain't gonna pay the money that it costs. That's just the facts. Big news, no proof, no submit. I bring that up a bunch of times. If I gotta do it again, no proof, no submit. All right, so we have what's going to be happening is you're going to have the CMS police after us. Okay, I purposely put this picture in like this. I don't want you to be this guy. I don't want you to have anything that's going to hurt you. This rule is really about bad actors. Okay, unfortunately, we've had bad actors in this thing for a couple of years now, and then they're trying to stop them. And what they're trying to stop is unauthorized enrollments, clients being switched without permission. This has happened. I'm sure it's happened to some of our clients. I know for a fact it's happened to some of our clients. Fake income was being used to switch plans. Fake SEP enrollments. You know, there was a lot of leniency on the SEPs. Well, guess what? That came back to bite people. Some people got some fake SEP enrollments that way. A lot of this had to do with misleading $0 premium advertising. That is, you can see it on Facebook and TikTok and all these different platforms out there. Those leads are very misleading, and people getting switched into plans that weren't necessarily the right thing for them. Again, bad agents submitting applications. So I think the thing we got to look at is good agents should not be afraid, but good agents need a better system. All right? So consent is no longer something that's casual. Hey, yeah, I know you want me to be your agent. No, you got to document things, okay? Agent must be able to show that the client gave permission. How do you do that? You can do it through Agent CRM right now. Eventually in 2028, as I showed you before, there's going to be a form that needs to be filled out. So we'll see how that looks like at that point. But we have it available right now, where either you can ask for consent on Agent CRM or your CRM if it has that capacity, or they have to have a document that I would recommend you have them fill out. Either way, you as the agent must be able to show that the client gave permission. The client, in that permission, the client agrees to work with you, the agent. The client allows the agent to access the or update the marketplace application. The client understood the agent was helping with the enrollment. And the client must approve the final submission. If you have not done that, big mistake, but you got to make sure that not only that you show the client everything you've submitted is good, and they must agree to that, but they also have to agree to the plan. So what I normally do is, like I said, I do that PDF in that marketplace application where it shows all the information, send it to them, and at that same time I also send them a copy of the whatever the plan is, the details. I make a copy of that, bingo, send it to the client, and they're good to go. They put an agree on it, or they do something that shows that they agree to it, and that's what CMS is looking for. All right, so application reviews do matter, which is what I'm talking about right now. So these are the things that you need to review with the client. All that important information, their full name, their date of birth, their address, their county. And the county is important because you have certain addresses. When you put a zip code in, you may have two different counties. Verify that they're in the right county. Household membership, tax filing, status. Are they married? Are they single? How are they filing? Jointly. And that's a critical issue too. Spouse is dependent. Expected annual income, and that's a household income, by the way. That includes everyone in the house that's on that application. The income sources, make sure you have that information. Citizenship or legal status, immigration status, current coverage, SEP if you're outside of the open enrollment period. Make sure you check their doctors, make sure you check their medications, make sure you check the plan selected. They got to review that, a monthly premium, they need to know how much they're going to pay, their deductibles, their maximum out of pockets, their effective date, and their binder payment requirements. All these things need to be checked. Your document is your defense. Make sure you document everything and you put it into your CRM as such. SEP enrollments will need stronger proof. Okay, they are pretty stringent right now. They're just going to get stronger. Okay, CMS finalized stronger SEP verifications on the platform exchange. So it's not going to be as easy to get a plan if you don't have proof of your SEP. What agents need to understand that outside open enrollment, the client needs a valid reason to enroll. A special enrollment period is not a shortcut. It's a qualifying life event. And again, we talk about the proof. Common examples of SEP is loss of employer coverage. Okay, keep in mind that employer coverage has to be credible, which most plans are. Usually, you consider it if they got 20 more and they have, if they lose their employer coverage, they get a letter. It's important to get. Loss of Medicaid, make sure you get a copy of their letter from here in Florida, DCF or Access or however you want to call them, but it's loss of Medicaid. You definitely need a letter for that, so to put someone on there. Loss of minimal essential coverage, which is basically loss of insurance. You might have lost some kind of insurance that's considered important, and you're able to put them on a plan. That's a special election. Move to a new service area. Okay, and again, they're going to require to provide proof of that. Marriage. Now, here's one I do want to touch a little on the marriage. Make sure one of the two parties, if this is on a special election period, one of the two have to have insurance so that the other one could get it. So it's important to understand that just because they got married isn't automatically give them a thing. You have to have one of the two parties have to have had insurance prior, whether it be marketplace or whatever type. Birth or adoption, same thing. Usually, if you're on these, a birth is a special election. Gainful lawful presence. Okay, you became a citizen, or you just became a legal resident. Sure, you need to make sure you have that proof. Change of in a household. Okay. Or if you were released from incarceration, you need to provide proof. What agents need to stop doing, basically, don't find an SEP just to make a sale. Okay? Don't just use a move SEP unless it's a client actually moved. Again, they're going to be asking for that information. Do not use loss of coverage without proof. And if a client, do not tell clients that they're approved before the verification is completed. Keep in mind, especially on the SEPs, make sure you do not say, hey, we're going to get you approved, because that may not happen. And of course, do not ignore document deadlines. Very crucial. If you do get one of the SEPs, that they do give you a little time, and again, those are going to be far and few in between, but don't disregard those letters. Agents need to tell clients, you may qualify for a special enrollment period, but the marketplace may ask for proof. If they ask for proof and we do not submit it on time, the plan may not start or may be canceled. This is the new norm. This is the new way of doing things. Number 5, income needs to be realistic and it has to be supported. Okay? Income is one of the biggest mistakes that ACA, or it's the biggest ACA risk area. And there's many reasons for that, but this is probably the biggest one that you're going to find your clients are running into. This affects their subsidy eligibility. It'll affect their Medicaid eligibility, if so be it. This is the big one, tax reconciliation. People are paying so much money, a lot more than in the past, because of bad income. The tax credit that you get, the annual premium tax credit, that's going to make a difference on what you put in there. Obviously, clients' repayment risk. They can pay 100% of what they don't know. So they'll say they're getting, it's a family of 4, and they're getting roughly $3,000 or $2,500 a month, and they didn't qualify, or something happened, and they go through the whole year, and you do taxes at the end of the year, and they caught you. That's $2,500 a month that you got to pay back. That's a lot of money. Keep that in mind. You're not doing a client a favor if you're doing that. Marketplace verification, obviously we got to go through that. And what we got to tell the clients, what is your expected gain for the year? Obviously, you can't tell, because it's always based on the current year or the year that you're going into. It's very hard to do that. So you got to be explicit on what is your expected income for this year, for the year, whatever your year is. Are you on a W-2 or are you self-employed? That makes a big difference. Will you receive Social Security? Do you receive unemployment? Do you receive any pensions? Did your income change this year? That happens. Not everybody gets the same every year. Did you file taxes last year? Very crucial question. Didn't file taxes, guess what? You're going to pay everything back because they're going to take that away from you. That's your reconciliation. Are you married? Or will you be filing jointly? Let me just touch on this. If you're married and you file separately, you're going to pay back everything on both parties. So you got to file jointly. And can you prove this income if the marketplace asks? If you can't, don't do anything. Filing the tax is part of the conversation. Okay, you must explain to clients ACA subsidies, that annual premium tax credit is tied to taxes. If the client receives it, they must file a federal tax return and reconcile using the form 1095A, which is always available to every person and the agents for their clients. Make sure they have that. Agents should ask every ACA client, did you have market coverage before? Did you receive a 1095A? Did you file your taxes? Did you reconcile your subsidies? Are you married? And are you filing jointly? These 6 questions are very important for taxes. And obviously the subsidies they receive. If you receive help paying your premium, you must file taxes and reconcile the subsidy. If you do not, you can lose financial help later. Or, I'll add to that, you can pay it what you should have got. So let's talk about it. Marketing. This is something we haven't touched on yet. The marketing needs to be cleaned up. Okay? CMS is finalizing strong marketing related oversight. This includes marketing materials for all that quickly they can get audited, monitoring, and it's going to get enforced. And by the way, when I say CMS, let's understand something. It's not just CMS that's doing this. The carriers, they're going to put this to the carriers also. So the carriers will get fined big time if they don't do some marketing, some enforcements. So it can come from the carriers. So agents need to be careful with Facebook ads, flyers, SMS campaigns. I know we do that here. Call scripts, landing pages or your websites, referral posts, YouTube videos. Okay, bilingual marketing. Don't think that they don't know how to speak Spanish or whatever language or French or whatever. Lead vendor scripts. All these things is where they're going to be looking at. Avoid in any of these things, and I'm sure most of you don't do this anymore. We had a lot of agents doing this. Avoid for the word free insurance. Everyone qualifies. Guaranteed zero plans. There ain't no such thing as guaranteed. Very few zero plans nowadays. No income needed. That's the biggest farce. No documents needed. Again, be careful. I can get you approved. I can't get everybody approved, so I don't know how anybody can say that. Sign up and get cash. I've seen ads where they're giving gift cards away and they're giving trips away. Don't fall into that. That's, first of all, it's illegal and it's a bait and switch type thing. And you qualify automatically. That's not. None of these things are true. Do not use this in any type of formatting of your ads or marketing campaigns. Keep in mind, every post is a compliant document. So if it's got your name or your agency name or your business name or any way it get tied to you, and they see it in Facebook or TikTok or LinkedIn or wherever, if it gets ties to you, you are now subject to compliance. Okay? I've seen this happen far too much already. I know a whole agency that went down and fined, and they lost not only their contracts with those particular companies, but they also lost their license and got fines. And I'm talking about agencies with all the agents included that were putting this. All right, so let me touch on this other subject, which is very important. CRM notes are no longer optional. Okay, this is crucial. If it's not documented, it didn't happen. Agent CRM, which is what we're using, need to show who called, what was discussed, what client authorized, what the income was used, what SCP was used, what documents are needed, if any, what plan was selected, what premium was explained, or was the premium explained, what follow-up is required, and what deadlines apply. All right. In the old days, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm guilty of this. I would just simply put down enrolled client and agent ACA plan. You know, we were all trying to be quick, getting the next one going, especially during the open enrollment period. We put whatever we can and move on to the next. Nowadays, it's not about being fast, it's about being accurate. This is what I put down. Spoke to the client by phone. Client authorized LTDT Insurance, and obviously, if I didn't speak to the client, I would put the client's spouse or whoever it was. The client would be the person that's on my CRM. If not, I put the wife and her wife's name, and authorized Louis or whoever it is at LTDT Insurance to assist with the marketplace application and plan selection. Reviewed household address, tax filing status, projected 2027 income, doctor's medications, plan premiums, deductibles, max out of pockets, and effective date. Client confirmed the information was correct and approved the submission. Advised client to watch out for marketplace notice and carrier invoice and binder payments. Obviously I would take a binding printer, I send them a copy of that and put it in there also. And then follow up task created. Whatever needed to be done, I would add that in there. Those are good CRM notes. No longer that enrolled client and ACA plan. I know that's a lot, but it is the signs of the time. So in closing, what is changing? CMS is tightening the ACA marketplace rules, okay? Agents need to have better proof of consent. Clients must review and confirm the application information, and they also must review the coverage. SEPs enrollments will require stronger verification. Income must be realistic and supportable. Marketing language must be accurate. And CRM notes must be stronger. What this means for us, we slow down before we submit. We document everything. We collect proof early. We explain better, and we used approved language. We protect the client. As an agency, no permission, no submit. No review, no submit. No value SEP, no submit. No income explanation, no submit. No CRM notes, well, it didn't happen. Those are the changes. This is how we're going to be working. This is the future. This is the way it works. I want to thank you all for being here. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call. Thank you and have a great day.